Hi, my name is Brian Alaspa. I am a client services manager and social media lead for K Squared Communications, and I'm also a blogger, journalist, published author, all around swell guy. And I'm here to talk to you today about something that's important because you probably have heard how starting a blog for your company can be very important to promote your company. Whatever your company is, starting a blog is a great way to promote it. It's a great way to reach out to your audience. It's a great way to reach out to customers and gather customer feedback. It's like running your own publishing house. But the problem we run into a lot of times here with clients who've decided that they want to start a blog is that they spend a lot of time agonizing over that first blog post. Or they hear that blogging is a great idea, but they have no idea what to write about. And so they spend a lot of time agonizing over it. And having a blog that sits there empty is quite honestly worse than never starting a blog at all. So I'm here to try to tell you about writing that first blog post. Now, you may be saying, Brian, you're a writer, it's easy for you. But that's not really true, because I've often worked with people who say they have no writing skills, and then I ask them what they'd like to write about, and they proceed to pour out a whole bunch of ideas. I'll often write for them, for example, and then they'll come back with all kinds of changes or completely rewriting it, and it's 1,000 times better than anything I could have done. So don't sell yourself short. That's going to be the first thing. Second of all, stop stressing about it. The more you stress about it, and I found this with my own writing as well, the more you're putting up blocks in your own mind. It's like when you're trying to force yourself to go to sleep at night, it just never really works. So you have to relax a little bit about it. It's okay. This is not going to be your War and Peace. This is not going to be your magnum opus. This is not going to be the one piece of writing that's going to define you and your company for the rest of your life. In fact, it's probably best if you start with an introduction. It doesn't have to be any great thing that lays out your manifesto for your entire company. Tell the people why you've started a blog. Who's your company? Or what is your company? Who are you and what is your company is probably the best way to determine. Introduce yourself. What does your company do? Why should people come back to this blog again? Are you taking a particular stance on something that's involved in your particular industry? Are you just going to talk about day-to-day activities at your company? Are you going to be posting about sales and specials and things? Are you going to be talking about your own personal life? That first blog entry does not need to be a particularly long one. A lot of times we run into clients who spend 2 weeks agonizing over that first entry and come back with a blog article that's 2,000 words long. That's way too long. Most people don't want to read that much. It needs to be short. Keep it about 250 words. That's really not that much. Quite honestly, once you get going and once you start writing, you're going to find that 250 words is going to be eaten up very fast. If you're the type of person who needs a lot of quiet to write, go find a very quiet room, find a quiet place to write and think about it. And if it's just too frustrating for you, don't be afraid to ask for help. Let others in your company, if there are other people in your company, know that you're going to start a blog and ask for ideas. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. Take some time to go out and look for other blogs in your industry. See what they're writing about. Maybe you can write something in a similar theme. Or maybe someone has an opposing viewpoint and you have a counterpoint to that. That can help inspire you. Getting inspiration from other writers is the way every writer has learned how to write, probably going back to, well, the first writer, who must have just been very creative. Because that's how I learned to write, was I simply started writing like other people that I admired. And that's how I've written my works in fiction, nonfiction, journalism, and even blogging. I spend a lot of time reading blogs and studying other blogs, finding out what works and what doesn't work, and what things that people are responding to when it comes to blogs, and then trying to adapt those to my own blog. Remember why you started blogging. Try not to go off course too much. Keep it firm in your mind what it is you want to say. Remember that blogging is not something you're going to do just one time and then forget. Too often, people who start blogging come to us, they write that first manifesto, they put the blog out there. Maybe they know how to use some social bookmarking sites and they seed it around. And then they sit there and consistently check the numbers to see who's reading the blog, who's coming back to the blog. And then they come to us and want to know why it's not happening instantly. Why aren't they popping up in Google searches already? It takes more than that. Before you start popping up in Google searches, before you start being noticed, you're going to have to add more material. The more material you have out there, the more that search engines will find your blog and post it whenever somebody does some research about your particular industry. Be sure to use keywords, but all of that is very technical. When it comes to writing that first blog, just relax. That's the first step. Remember that you don't have to put all of your time and effort into it, and that it's not a crime to ask for help. There are companies out there that can help you. There may be an intern or someone at your company who knows how to do blogging. Maybe they run their own blog and are just anxious for the idea to blog for you at their work. You know, it might be something that they just would love to work on. So don't panic about it. Keep your mind clear. Don't act like it's a term paper. Blogging should be fun. If blogging ends up being a torture for you, if you end up agonizing for endless hours for each and every blog entry, then maybe there are other things you need to consider when it comes to promoting your company. Blogging should be fun, it should come naturally, and it should come easily. So if it isn't, find someone at your company to whom it can become natural and easy, or maybe look into other options. Alright, those are some tips for you as far as getting that first blog entry up and running. And if you have questions, you can always contact the company, and we'll be back with more exciting information and tips for you next month. Thank you.